Hi, welcome back for Power Circle Part 2. So again, if you don't have one of these Power Circle Magic Circles, you can still just follow along. You'll just take this out, but you can still get a great workout. And if you're interested in getting these, you can pick them up on like Amazon for 20 bucks. Anyways, so if you got your circle, grab it, or if it's just you, there you go. And then find a nice comfy spot. So we're gonna start standing today. And if you don't have a circle, you could totally just kind of work on posture and find yourself. I'm gonna bring you up against a wall for a minute. So if you don't have your circle, you could totally do this part. My feet are just a little away from the wall, and I'm just finding a connection on the wall and connecting if you have a circle with your circle. My feet are just about a hip width distance apart. Just whatever comfortable, parallel if they're turned out. I'm not gonna get too picky about that. You're gonna squeeze your circle from your back. So if you don't have a circle, you're just gonna kind of pretend like you're moving through water and you're squeezing with your back muscles up against the wall. This is just great if you're working from home, you're sitting at your desk, and maybe you're not in your position that you normally would be at work. You're sitting at a dining table or something like that, and you're in such like awkward postures. And this is great to just bring you back up against the wall and bring you into good posture. So I'm just gonna do about 8 to 10 squeeze from about hip height. Now I'm gonna lift the circle up, and you're gonna just keep your knees soft, and then I'm pressing again. So I'm using my whole hand, a palm, a little bit more specific pressing from more like pinky side of the arm. Think like the whole arm, so it goes all the way down. Yeah, and then press, release. So I'm not pressing with my hand, I'm not pressing with my arm, I'm pressing with my back. So you should be able to feel, circle or not, that your back muscles right between your shoulder blades, maybe a little lower, are starting to do the work. And we're gonna go up, not all the way up. So if we start to go all the way up, you feel a disconnect. Can you feel your back? So take your arms all the way up, and you might start to feel your back coming away from the wall. Your back's not smashed against the wall. Then your whole back starts to move away, because you do have a little bit of space in the lower back. So come back so that you can find your shoulder blades up against the wall again, and that's your position to work with. Press and release. Again, no circle, you're just kind of playing with pretending like you have a circle, like you're moving through water. Then you can take this more dynamic and lower the arms and lift. And again, if no circle, you can lift the arms, feel them up against how high can you go, keeping the rib cage down, and then lowering back down again. And lift, and if you're circle, you're doing squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You're gonna step away from the wall, and we're gonna bring the circle onto the hips. You're gonna find right on your hip bone, place a pad of the circle. The shoulder's gonna roll back, and then you're gonna press. So your elbow's soft, and you're pulling in, like you're pulling the circle in towards your hip. My legs have just had a nice secure stance. If you want to be more specific, you can do heels together, toes apart. If you take your feet further apart, you'll be more steady, more stable. And I'm just doing these about 8 to 10 times. Feel as if you're trying to draw your elbow behind your back. So I'm going to turn for this one so you can see that a little bit. So you're going to feel like you're pulling your elbow behind your back. And squeeze, pull, like you're compressing and pulling the opposite side of the circle, not on the hip, towards you. While I'm here, I'm going to take the circle behind my back, and this is just going to be a big stretch. I'm tight, I can't even press my circle. I'm just holding it back there for the stretch. So if you want to get a stretch, you could grab yourself something non-stretchy. Like I have a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can get like a scarf that's not stretchy, or a towel, like a thinner towel. And I'm just holding, so I'm not pulling it and pushing the rib cage out and keeping all that down. I'm just getting a nice stretch of my arms behind my back. We're gonna take your circle, place it down on the floor, one pad down. So this is gonna be working on a little bit of balance. I'm placing one foot on the circle, standing back up, and I'm just gonna press. So I'm not working to push the circle all the way down. It's probably gonna pop out and fly if I tried to do that. So I'm just pressing down, like I'm gonna almost step on an egg. So I'd want to be very delicate. So mainly this is working on balance. So if you don't have a circle, you can keep doing your circle right now. But if you don't have a circle, you can just work on lifting one leg up, but without leaning off to the side and holding your balance. This is also a great thing that you could do out of context of exercise, like when you're brushing your teeth. You could just work on your balance. You just lift one leg up while you're brushing your teeth, and then switch. So again, we'll do about 8 to 10 of these presses. Push. So it's just wobbly, you're throwing yourself off. This would be reminiscent if you're coming from the yoga world. You could practice like your tree. You could just hold your balance like this. But I kind of like it even taking the leg forward, changing direction, changing positions. And can you resist the urge to stick your hip out or lean back and instead stay straight? We're gonna bring it down onto the mat and work on some footwork today. So you're like, how do you do footwork? If you're from the Pilates work, you're like, I don't have my reformer. You can still do your footwork. Footwork is great for just getting the whole body warm, especially when you're working. So if you've got a circle, you just add it in between your legs. If you don't have a circle, follow along, and you're just gonna bring your feet together. So we're gonna do heels turned in slightly and toes turned out. So in a turned out position, I'm gonna bend my knees and lay my head down. So everything's connecting, my core settling in, my belly button settling in, not smushing my back down in the mat. And I'm gonna press out and back in. I'm gonna take my circle a little lower down, a little bit closer, more close to your ankle so you don't get that full range extension. And press out. So if you'd like a little bit more, take your hands behind your head, push your head into your hands while you're working this. And this is if you're connected. You don't want to see a bulge as you stretch your legs out. You don't want to see that pop up. You want to keep that in. Press out. So we'll do about 8 to 10 of these. And then we're going to flex. That was a kind of slightly pointed foot, pressing external rotation. Now we're going to flex the feet and then press directly into the circle. So you're getting nice inner thigh, and then press and back in. So if you're following along without the circle, I'm going to rest my head down. You can also grab things to support your head, like a towel. Have one back there. You want to lift your head up a little. Inhale as you're pressing out. Exhale as you're pulling in if you want to start challenge yourself on breathing. Now we're going to change and we're going to bring, this is what I love about these circles that have the pads on the inside, but no worries if yours doesn't. Flex the feet again. And now you're going to push out. So we're getting these abductor muscles in the legs working. And again, your option to make it a little more challenging. This is your challenge to kind of come back with me and repeat these exercises again and again so you can improve, get better, and then you have this baseline on the first day you worked. And then you can keep trying it throughout the week or weeks. Keep going back. This is progressive. Repeating exercises and improving. And back in. We're going to stretch those legs out, or you can stay feet down bent for a roll up. Flex your feet if you are legs out. Shooting your head through. My back is a little tight, so I'm going to be of a challenge on my hamstrings, and that's probably you as well. I'm going to do another one of those. And then lowering back down, and we're going to do the 100. Bringing that circle right between the legs again. Press your circle, arms coming down, walk your fingertips down. You're going to, in one motion, lift up through the crown of the head and pull yourself up. You don't have to do that with your hand, by the way. And then hold. Reach your arms up just above hip height, and then vigorously pump those arms. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 4, 5. So this can be your great starting position. You could even start here with your 100. Keep pumping, keep breathing. You want a little bit more, take the legs up to the ceiling, or take the legs out. You can always rest your head down if you need a break for your neck. Breathe in and out. Open up through the collarbone, through the shoulders. How about one more? And then pull your knees in. Take this out. Stretch your left leg nice and long. Take your right leg up to the ceiling. I'm going to give myself a little stretch. So all I'm doing with this circle is just kind of pulling my leg a little bit more. You can do all of this without the circle. You could just use your own hand. What I'm trying to ideally do is try to get this leg straight. Haha, I know. Keep working at it. Hey, we all got goals. Get there, maybe someday. We gotta work with the body we have today, right? All right, now if you've got your circle, your goal is to try to keep the leg in the middle of the circle. If you don't have the circle, you could use your hand, fingertips, or make like a hoop with your arms or your hands to make it harder. So the less you touch your leg, the more abdominal work you're going to get, the more challenge you're going to have. So we're going to go up. This is your tree. And lowering back down. You can bend the opposite knee. And coming back down. We're going to go one more up. Hold it at the top. Pull the leg back. Get a nice big stretch, and then cross your foot over your thigh. And we'll switch to the other side. Stretch your right leg out. You need to lift your hips and reorganize. And then again, letting your ring and your leg kind of be the center, or you're using your hand if you don't have a circle. Up. Stretching out through both legs. You can bend your opposite leg if you need a little bit of assistance. Coming all the way up. Rest your ankle on. Pull. And then take your leg out of your circle, cross your ankle over your thigh, and stretch forward. We're going to go into a belly position, so you're going to lay down, turn onto your stomach for your swan. Bringing your circle, and again, if you don't have your circle, no worries. You can start, well, I'll start the seam, hands down. You're just going to lift up like you're pushing a marble with your nose, looking slightly a few inches in front of you on your floor or the mat, and then lowering back down. And pull your belly button in away from your spine. Think like ice cube underneath your belly button. You're pulling that up, creating a little dome underneath your pelvis. Now if you've got a circle, you can add it in. Bring your hands up on the top of the circle. This is a nice stretch. You can just hang out there for a moment, and then you can press your circle down, lift up, slide your shoulders onto your back, pull the belly button in, creating that little dome, and lowering down. And then you can always hang out for another stretch. We're gonna lift up after back extension, always into a child's pose. We're gonna work on our side leg work. So you'll take your circle, bring it down to the end of your body where your feet are. You're gonna take your bottom leg, place it inside the circle, and then your top leg's gonna come and rest on the top. Whatever you can do to make your upper body comfortable, head on your hand, head all the way down. Just do whatever feels best for your neck. Your whole body straight, hip on top of hip, and flex your feet. Press the top of your circle towards the bottom. And press. As you're doing this, reach out through the bottom of your foot. So you're keeping that whole side of your body long. Squeeze. And making sure your hips aren't wobbling forward or back. Now you're going to keep the top leg resting. Lift your bottom leg up to the top leg. You're working that bottom leg inner thigh. Keeping the feet still. And then if you want to take this a little bit more wild and crazy, you're going to take and bring the circle, let's lift up for this one, so that it's, your legs are on both of the outsides of your circle, and you're going to squeeze and release. So you're squeezing the circle on your side, so you're getting more obliques than when we were more doing this if we were laying down. Even crazier, squeeze and lift. And I like to lay my head down for this one just so I don't, sometimes you might get a little bit of hip cramp. So you gotta go straight up. I'm using this hand as like a little kickstand. You are doing maybe like more like about 6 of these, not quite as many. I'm gonna come in, take my circle. I'm gonna switch so I can still look that direction, but you can just flip over. We're gonna switch and do this one first. Bottom leg, top leg, flex the feet, and then you're pressing down, squeeze. Squeeze, release. And then press, you're going to lift the bottom leg to the top. You could go a little bit more. You could do up to 10 of these. Then when we get into the double leg, you can go a little less. You could do more, but you can go a little less like these. They're pretty intense ones. So you're going to be slightly lifted of your bottom leg because you're squeezing. You're not just resting your bottom leg down. You're slightly lifted, squeeze. All right, I'm going to rest my head down. 6 lifts. Woo. All right. I'm going to pull it back this way. I'm going to do some bridging. The circle is going to go right in between the legs. So if you want to get some inner thighs, we can go good old like almost thigh master style, work the inner thighs. Even though we got a lot of that, it's always good to get a little bit more in. Work through the pelvic floor. So you can lift up. You could always take your circle out and just do some nice cool down recovery bridges. I am articulating my spine, meaning I'm lowering each vertebrae down and lifting each vertebrae back up instead of moving it in a whole piece. Lift and lower. So those, you just can't do enough of those. They're great. Great to counteract everything. And then we're gonna come up. You're gonna squeeze your circle, slide those shoulders back. And we're going back and then up into a roll up. I'm gonna take my feet slightly apart and place my circle down. One palm doesn't, it's not that important. You can keep track and remember for next time. But I'm gonna press my circle as I contract. Release the air, spine stretch. Lift, stack the spine, lift the circle back up. Exhale, compress. So the circle kind of helps with this because sometimes we like to collapse and then it's just a different type of a stretch. This is a spine stretch, abdominal work, where that would be more of a hamstring stretch. Not that you're not getting a stretch for your hamstrings as well. Inhale as you lift up, you're filling your lungs. Exhale. Little spinal twist. You can extend one arm back. Reach. So we didn't do a whole lot with the twist, and it always feels nice. You're lifting, stretch. We'll do one more the other side. And that's all for your circle today. See you next time.